Do a voice note, Sakura. Didn't you? 78. Ohe Vaishnava Sakura Toyara Sagara Edase Karuna Koi Ohe Vaishnava Sakura Toyara Sagara Edase Karuna Koi Ohe Vaishnava Sakura Toyara Sagara Edase Karuna Koi Vaishnava Sakura Toyara Sagara Edase Karuna He Apada Toya Sota He Amare He Apada Toya Sota He Amare He Apada Toya Sota He Amare pages up. Kind of. I don't know where it is.
It's in 146.
146.
Yes, 146.
Okay. Narada Muni Bhajavina Radhika Ramana Name Narada Muni Bhajavina Radhika Ramana Name Narada Muni Bhajavina Radhika Ramana
It's too transcendental.
Yeah.
Oh, the Midang is too powerful.
I think the PA is just okay, probably. Was it too loud before?
It's a little bit loud.
This one is pretty powerful,
Yeah, it's true. What were you going to say? What about Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan? Balakamala.
Bhaja Hariman.
Yeah.
No, you play.
You know what? You turn it this way.
Bhaja Hariman.
Page 155.
Jaya Hare Mana Sriman Jaya Jaya Charana Ravindare
Bhaja Hare Mana Sri Nandana Havaya Charana
Bhaja Hare Mana Sriman Om Namah
How's everybody okay? Yes. Good.
Prabhu, did you sing another song or do you
No.
go into it?
Yeah, just the time's getting on, isn't it? Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakkuram Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nikhila Bhuvana Maya Chinna Bijjana Karati Bebada Bahulam Rigya Mukti Mohanta Tatri Sitilita Vidiraga Raga Radeshadani Vilashaturidi Nityam Bhakti Siddhanta Bani. Jai Gurudev. We are followers of the Rupanuga Gaudiya Sampradaya, as inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the great Messiah of Sankirtan, Radha and Krishna combined as one. And our line in particular, coming through His Divine Grace Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. Who is Sridhar Maharaj? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur called him Shastra Nipuna Sridhar Maharaj, the spiritual genius of scripture. So Chaitanya Saraswat Math, it cannot be conceived of without Srila Sridhar Maharaj as the preeminent guiding light of this mission. And that will be forever. It would be like thinking of ISKCON without Srila Prabhupada. This is just not possible. And even to think of Srila Govinda Maharaj without Srila Sridhar Maharaj is also impossible. His life was dedicated to disseminating the teachings of Srila Sridhar Maharaj all over the world. Inseparable, they are inseparable, and this mission is his conception. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. In the line of Sri Chaitanya, coming through Saraswati Thakur, and it is the place of that. So Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. Thank you. The reason I wanted to speak about Srila Sridhar Maharaj is because his disappearance day is on Monday. I'll be at our other temple on Monday, so I wanted to say something. He is my Guru Padapadma, my Guru Maharaj. I was fortunate to meet him in 1982 and receive initiation from him in 1983, and had his guidance, direct guidance and association until his passing in 1988. It is not an exaggeration to say that he is the greatest Vaishnava in the modern age. And maybe someone will say, well, you're his disciple, you're bound to say that, bound to think that. It is not just my opinion. The greatest preacher of Krishna consciousness, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, called him his guru. He is my Shiksha Guru. what to speak of the benefit that you will get from hearing from him, he told us. And he also said, and I consider the only other person fit to comment on Srimad Bhagavatam other than myself, Sridhar Maharaj. In his biography, maybe you've seen his biography written by Satsvarup Das Goswami, meaning Srila Prabhupada's biography. And the first volume is called A Lifetime in Preparation. In there he refers to Srila Sridhar Maharaj. From the very beginning I knew that he is a pure devotee of Krishna. And my Guru Maharaj, meaning Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Krishna liked that he would prepare me. And while he was preaching in India, I mean outside of India, all over the world, starting from the United States, while he's preaching, who is he corresponding with? With Srila Sridhar Maharaj, not with anyone else. Through Srila Govinda Maharaj. Govinda Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj's secretary then, and he's sending regular reports, asking so many questions from Guru Maharaj. And when he returned to India with his disciples, where did he go? He went to see Srila Guru Maharaj in Navadvip. Srila Govinda Maharaj arranged citizens' reception for him in Navadvip town hall. Many great pundits and Goswamis came for that. That was organized by our Srila Govinda Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj also was planning to go for that, but became too ill to go at that time. Even the local people, including many Vaishnavas, objected when Srila Prabhupada wanted to buy the land where the ISKCON Chandradoya Mandir is. If he brings the Americans here, they'll spoil the chastity of the Dham, they said. And maybe there's some truth in that also. So the local municipality, they wouldn't let Prabhupada buy any land there. So he came to Guru Maharaj, what can I do? Guru Maharaj sent Govinda Maharaj, he bought the land. Where the Chandradoya Mandir is, that was bought by Srila Govinda Maharaj. And then he sold it to Srila Prabhupada for like 1 rupee as a token. So very close, intimate connection with Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. And he considered our Guru Maharaj as his Shiksha Guru. And he himself, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, when he composed many songs and many Sanskrit poems and so on, and he wrote one song in the time of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinod Viraha Dasakam. And when Saraswati Thakur read that, he said, now I can understand that although I may leave the world, there's one man who can represent me after I'm gone, properly represent me. And that's Sridhar Maharaj. He asked, who wrote this? They said, Sridhar Maharaj wrote this. He said, no, Sridhar Maharaj didn't write this. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote this through him. It's so fine. Only Bhaktivinoda Thakur could give this Siddhanta through Guru Maharaj. So, someone may say, that was like over 30 years ago when Sridhar Maharaj disappeared from the world. And what's the relevance of that today? But then you'll say, well, what about Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Dev? He was in the world over 500 years ago. What's the relevance of that today? Of course, it's relevant. These are not, they're not, dwelling on the past or something like that. These are all moments in eternity. They're part of our spiritual heritage. And those who are able to, chronicle these spiritual histories will understand this in due course of time. Srila Govinda Maharaj said, everybody can understand the glories of Srila Prabhupada, Swami Maharaj A.C. Bhaktivedanta, That it's very clear to everyone. Like he presented Krishna consciousness all over the world and was hugely successful. So, but it takes a little more grace to be able to understand who is Srila Sridhar Maharaj. He himself said, "I'm a back-pushing man." Means I like to be in the back and push other people to the front. That was his nature. I don't want any big name or a big arrangement or anything. Say when there's so many people, Guru Maharaj would say, I get besides myself. He would say, I don't know what to do. So, but nevertheless, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur made the prediction that in the future all the intelligent men and women in the world must come to embrace the religion of love as taught by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the only panacea for all problems in the world. He said that, and we believe that. But I also believe that integral to that is the presentation of Krishna consciousness given by Srila Sridhar Maharaj. His words are like heart captivating. Srila Govinda Maharaj said, just one word from Guru Maharaj is sufficient to make us his slave for eternity. Srila Sridhar Maharaj himself said once, I heard him personally, he said, if anyone will sit with me for 3 days, I can completely convince them about the Krishna conception of God. And we saw that that was true, and not only in 3 days, but sometimes in like 3 minutes. This is Guru Maharaj's potency. And Guru Maharaj was very, you can say, conservative Vaishnava, for sure. He was born in 1895 and joined the Gaudiya mission. First of all, came in connection with the Gaudiya mission in 1923, and in 1926 he took initiation from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he received the name Ramendra Sundar. His family name, his given name, was Ramendra Chandra Bhattacharya. And Bhattacharya means very high family of Brahmins. And after taking initiation, Saraswati Thakur changed his name to Ramendra Sundar instead of Chandra. And Guru Maharaj said, I asked him, I know the meaning, it's a common enough words. I know the meaning, but I want to hear what he says. So I asked him, what is the meaning of Ramendra Sundar? And he said, it means Radha Raman Ram, not Dasarati Ram, not the son of Maharaj Dasarat, the hero of Ramayana, but Ram, Radha Raman Ram, who charms and captivates the heart of Srimati Radharani, Krishna's name. And Guru Maharaj, from that time, Guru Maharaj served as a brahmachari and then later as a sannyasi. When he took sannyas, actually before he took sannyas, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur sent him to discover the place where Ramananda Rai and Mahaprabhu had their historic conversation, which is known in the Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita as Ramananda Samvad. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, this is always where I go. For my philosophical presentation always begins and ends there. That conversation between Ramananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the highest, the zenith point of the Gaudiya Siddhanta. Should study that. It begins Mahaprabhu asking Mahaprabhu questioning, Ramananda answering, and he asks him, what's Krishna consciousness? And Ramananda begins saying, perfect execution of Varnashram Dharma for the satisfaction of Vishnu, that is Krishna consciousness. And Chaitanya Dev said, that's external, go deeper. And he presented, ever increasing ideas. Oh no, it's external, go deeper, go deeper. Then he came to Krishna's clarion call verse from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, Mamekam Sharanam Braja, Ham Tam Sarva Papebhyo, Moksha Yishami Masucha. That abandon all kinds of dharma, your duties in this world, your religion in this world, and just surrender to me. And I will protect you from any reaction for doing that, and you will come to me. Then Mahaprabhu, hearing that from Ramananda, he said, that's good, but go deeper. And this way, going deeper, going deeper, going deeper. Till finally he told, the pure devotion for the satisfaction of Sri Krishna, based on self-sacrifice, as the residents of Vrindavan, Raja, have done. This is the highest conception of divinity. Then Krishna says, obviously you'd say, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, and is there anything more than this? He said, yes, I think there's something more than this, but you won't find it in any scripture. It is my own idea, my own conception. Mahaprabhu asked him, you tell me. He said, well, first of all, I saw before me this sannyasi, beautiful young man dressed in the robes of a sannyasi, and I saw, it is like Surja, like the sun god has appeared before me. I'm thinking like that. But now I see two. I see this black cowherd boy playing his flute, and next to him, this golden complexioned girl. And I see that you are that. And then Mahaprabhu put his hand over Ramananda's mouth. He said, this is too much. But Ramananda said, you can't hide who you are from me. And then Mahaprabhu revealed that form to him. And Ramananda fainted. And when again he came to consciousness, he just saw that same sannyasi sitting there. So in our line, the Gaudiya line, where this conversation took place, on the banks of the Kaveri river in southern India, is very important. So Guru Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he sent Guru Maharaj to try and establish where that actual place was. And the day that he was going, Saraswati Thakur said, so from today you are Ramananda Das. Changed Guru Maharaj's name to Ramananda Das. And Guru Maharaj went, and with the help of the scripture and the local people and the historical records, he found that place. And Saraswati Thakur came there and installed the footprints of Lord Chaitanya there, called the Pada Pit of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then after that, a temple was built there, the Ramananda Gaudiya Math. That temple's still there today. That was Guru Maharaj. And then later, Saraswati Thakur conferred, I should say, that when he gave initiation to Guru Maharaj, he said, whatever, this verse from Bhagavad Gita, whatever a great man does, lesser men will follow his example. So he said that about Srila Sridhar Maharaj when he took initiation. And when he took sannyas, purposefully, Saraswati Thakur gave him the name Bhakti Rakak Sridhar. So the Mahaprabhu accepted the Sridhar Swami of medieval India, of the Sampradaya, I think it was Sampradaya of Nimbarka as Sampradaya, Chatushan Sampradaya, as the original commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam. When somebody tried to give some different explanation than Sridhar Swami had given, Mahaprabhu told, I do not like to hear that. I only like to hear that Krishna is Shyamasundar and Jashodanandana. That's all. I don't like to hear so many different explanations. And he told that devotee, Balabhavata, the wife who doesn't accept her Swami is a prostitute. And Swami means husband. But in this case, he meant Sridhar Swami. If you don't accept Sridhar Swami as the proper commentator and who gave the proper explanation of Srimad Bhagavatam, I consider you like a prostitute. Anyway, then there's a shloka given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sridhar Swami Eka Bhakti Rakak, which means that Sridhar Swami, he is the guardian of the devotional line. And quoting this shloka, he gave Srila Sridhar Maharaj that title, Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Maharaj. And when Srila Prabhupada Swami Maharaj, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, met Guru Maharaj, he said, I heard in Allahabad, Prabhupada said, in the future Sridhar Maharaj will save our bhakti. Guru Maharaj said, really? He said that? He said, yes, he said that. So, from that day, and when describing, once he was speaking, Saraswati Thakur was speaking about different devotees that were present at a meeting, and he said, and Shastra Nipuna Sridhar Maharaj, the scriptural genius Sridhar Maharaj, he also was present there. So, we had great fortune to meet him and have his association, and we can understand that the foundational principle of Chaitanya Saraswat Math rests entirely with him. In his conception, Chaitanya Saraswat means that the teachings of Mahaprabhu coming through Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they're the only thing that are purely preached and practiced in this Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And interestingly, or at least interesting to me, maybe not to everyone, but in the time of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, there was only one temple which was called Chaitanya Saraswat Math, and that was our Guru Maharaj's temple in Navadvip. None of his other temples were called Chaitanya Saraswat Math. The temples in Calcutta, they were Krishnanushilanam Shanga, in Puri and later in Vrindavan, all Krishnanushilanam Sangha. Only one Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, except when we asked him, can we open a center in London in your name? And he said, yes, because my Guru Maharaj wanted me to go to London to preach. I could not go, but I still consider it is my place of service, London. So if you can establish a center as Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math London chapter, I will consider it a great service to my Guru Maharaj. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj himself told that the London mott is Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And he also said once, not just once actually, in a letter and also personally, he said, my London mott is another room of my Navadvip mott. So we've tried to establish or maintain that identity here in London in our mission. And Srila Govinda Maharaj would say, whenever he would come to our, before this temple, of course, our mott in Green Street in London, I'm very happy to be in my Guru Maharaj's mott. And many things that he allowed in his other centres, he wouldn't allow in our mott in London because Guru Maharaj wouldn't allow it. Anyway, it's not easy, but we try to maintain that idea and the standard as far as possible of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And Guru Maharaj, from his very young age, he was always influenced by the Vedic version, if you like. He said, I would fight with my teachers at school. They want to establish, the modern way of thinking, and I would always come out in favor of the scriptural response. And he said, and I think none of them could defeat me. So when he was in his senior school, secondary school, then he said one boy joined the school there, a few years younger than Guru Maharaj. He said there were, in the school, there were two, you can say, parties of students. Said there were those who liked to read the scripture and do meditation, and there were those who liked to, help the sick and feed the poor and so many things like this. He said so, and he said I was like both of those things together, but this Suresh is his friend Suresh. He would said although he was maybe like 3 years younger, he said we would. Became friends because he was very much interested in spiritual development. So said one day we were walking in the morning in the forest, and there, maybe in India they have this stick from a tree they use to clean their teeth because it has like sap in it, and they clean their teeth with that. So he said we were walking together and cleaning our teeth in the morning. And he said I referred to my father as... No, he referred to his father in the conversation as that gentleman. Of course, to Western people, that doesn't seem like a very bad thing to say when you're speaking about your father. In fact, it seems like quite a nice thing to say about your father compared to some of the things we've heard our fathers being referred to as. But Guru Maharaj took exception. He's your father. Why did you say that gentleman, like you don't know him or something, that gentleman? And he said that his friend said, yes, you're right. I shouldn't have said like that. He said, but that's the truth. He's that gentleman, He said, in this life, he's my father. And, I've come to be in his family, but what do I really know about him, and what does he really know about me, and how long will that relationship last? What about my mother and father in my previous lives? Where are they? I don't even remember them, then. So yes, that gentleman, and Guru Maharaj said, I tried to make some objection, but his words were very striking to me, and they caused a whole turn in my consciousness. Like, what do we know about anyone? We take shelter of our family, but what relationship do we really have with them? And he said, then I felt like the whole universe is completely vacant, and I don't have any standing anywhere. He said, and this was on my mind so much I didn't know what to do. He said, then I couldn't do my studies. And Guru Maharaj was studying for a degree in law, and and he said that year was very difficult exam, and almost everybody failed. He said, but I passed, and with distinction. He said, but I didn't study. I couldn't even open the books. He said, and my classmates, this is a boarding school, so he said, my classmates, they're all really worried about me. So they said, okay, at least if you can't read it, we'll read it, you just listen. You read it, and we'll read, you listen. Okay. So they would read, Guru Maharaj would listen. And it said, and those fellow students, they failed the exam, and Guru Maharaj passed the exam. And not only passed, but passed with distinction. And he said, and all my classmates said, he's passed by worshipping God. That's how he passed, because he didn't study for anything. Of course, Guru Maharaj was very brilliant mind. Anyway, then he said that, but even then at school, he said, my ambition was to become a sannyasi. That's what I wanted. And my family were very afraid of that. They didn't want that. Guru Maharaj was the oldest son in the family. And a daughter previously was born but didn't live. And so, he was the oldest. They had much expectation for him. Then said, but all I wanted was to be a sannyasi. He said, then my friend, that same friend, Suresh, he said, he introduced me to the founder of the Bharat Seva Ashram. His name was Pranavananda. And he said he tried to recruit me. And he said, but by that time I came across a book about Lord Chaitanya. And that book was written by, what was his name? I forget now. Something Ghosh. Anyway, that book is available still today in English and in Bengali. In Bengali it was called Amiya Nimai Charita, and in English Lord Gauranga. Shishir Kumar Ghosh is the author, and it's published by the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. And Guru Maharaj said, you can go through that book if you want to. He said, but when I found that book, he said, I devoured it like nectar. And he said, and then when the Pranavananda, he wanted to recruit me to the Bharat Seva Ashram, then Guru Maharaj said, my head and my heart already given to Chaitanya Dev. And Pranavananda said, I also have much reverence for Lord Chaitanya and his teaching. He said, but my thinking is, first of all, you have to practice the abnegation of Buddha, and then study the Vedanta of Shankara, and then finally you can come to the prema of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise people will think it's, something cheap or sentimental or something like that. That was his argument. And Guru Maharaj said, I was impressed that he had so much reverence for Chaitanya Dev. He said, but I said to him, but Lord Chaitanya doesn't say you have to practice the austerity of the Buddhists and then study the Vedanta of Shankara. He says, from whatever position you are, you can come to me directly. He said he was silenced. Then when I left, I asked him, if you have some mystic power, can you show me where my guru is? And he said, he gave some name, Harayananda or something. He said, but I never found anyone of that name. Anyway, that time he said, still I wanted to be a sannyasi, but at that time Mahatma Gandhi was saying, if you join my mission of non-violent resistance, then I'll give you, within 2 years I'll give you Swaraj, like independence from the British. And if you give, he was asking every family to give one son for that cause for 2 years. And Guru Maharaj said, so my countrymen, they want that of me, for 2 years, so I can do that. And he worked in their Calcutta office as an advocate because he had a degree in law. And he said, but still I'm thinking, where are the followers of Chaitanya Dev? This is what I want. He said, so one day I'm coming home from the office, and I saw on a billboard, on a telegraph pole or something, said 1 month long festival of Hari Smaranam at the Bagh Bazaar Gaudiya Math. Then I thought, Gaudiya Math, that must be the followers of Chaitanya Dev. So I wrote down the address and everything, and the next night when I coming from my office, I visited there. In the meantime, before that, as is common, Guru Maharaj's family, they wanted him to marry, but he didn't want to marry. As we know, he wanted to be a sannyasi, but the pressure is very strong from Indian families, especially the oldest son, he'll marry. And so marriage was arranged, and Guru Maharaj's father, particularly, he knew Guru Maharaj's nature. He knew he doesn't want to marry. He said, but my father was he's on his deathbed, and he called me to him, and he said, please tell me that you'll marry. And Guru Maharaj said, he's saying to me, lie if you want to, but let me die with a peaceful heart. Don't say that you won't, he's saying, tell me you'll marry. And Guru Maharaj said, I never told a lie in my entire life. That, we think, is almost, that anyone will even believe such a thing, almost impossible, isn't it? When Gurudev was telling me this once, I said, it's very difficult to believe. They said that about Mahatma Gandhi, that he never told a lie in his life. And Martin Luther King, he said future generations will not believe that such a person existed. So our Guru Maharaj like that, never told a lie, and then and I asked Srila Gurudev once, I said, I always taught my girls, my kids, to be honest. But even from their very young age, they're expert liars. Did you do that? No, I didn't do it. It wasn't me, and they're lying, right? You know that. And I said, why is that, Gurudev? I asked Srila Govinda Maharaj, why is that? And he said, because they're intelligent. But anyway, this was Srila Sridhar Maharaj's nature. He never told a lie. And his father saying to him, just promise me you'll get married, And Guru Maharaj said, then it came from my mouth, I'll try. I'll try. So anyway, Guru Maharaj's father passed away. And through his mother, marriage was arranged. Guru Maharaj got married. And they were living in Calcutta with his 2 brothers and sister, and going for his job in Gandhi's non-cooperation movement as a advocate there. And then he sees Gaudiya Math festival, so he starts going there, and is going regularly now. Every evening he's going after work, and the devotees that lived there in the temple, he said, they thought I was a spy from the government. So because they thought nobody listens that intently as he does. So I'm very intent when the talk's being given, and said no one's that attentive. They must be a spy from the government. So they were a bit kind of suspicious of him. Then one day, Saraswati Thakur's quarters were upstairs. If you've been there, they'll show you that. room where Saraswati Thakur lived, and on the wall there is a map of London, and Saraswati Thakur used to look at this map and consider, where will we open a temple in London? There's Buckingham Palace, there's Westminster Abbey, like where will be a good place to open the temple? This was his thinking. And in fact, Guru Maharaj said, his horoscope, Saraswati Thakur's horoscope, said he would live an extra 10 years than he did. And he said it was his plan that he himself would come to London. And he was, on his passing, he said, Krishna stole 10 years from me. And Guru Maharaj said, but I think he gave those 10 years to Prabhupada A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Krishna took them from Saraswati Thakur, gave them to him. Anyhow, so one day, he knows Saraswati Thakur's up in his room, so Guru Maharaj is like going up the stairs, and the suspicious brahmacharis who think he's a spy from the government, they stopped him. Where do you think you're going? They said. He said, I want to see Guru Maharaj. I like it very much, he said. Guru Maharaj's words. I want to hear from him. I like it very much. And they said, no. You can wait there in the waiting area, and if anyone will call you, then you can go. Otherwise, not to cross this boundary. Like, quite harshly, they're telling him this, Then Guru Maharaj said, I was a little bit offended by that. I thought, why they are meant to be sadhus? Is this how sadhus should behave? That their outward behavior and their rude nature is this the nature of a sadhu? He said, then I was feeling a bit like flustered, maybe a little angry. He said, so then I went for a walk. It's near Bagbazar Mott is near the river. The river is called the Hooghly in Calcutta, but it's actually the Ganges, but it's called the Hooghly. So Guru Maharaj anyway is walking around there, and he said, so my first reaction was, I won't go there again. I was thinking like that. If this is how they're going to behave towards me, I'm not going to go there again. Then he said, but even while I was like saying that to myself, this notion came in my head. I was reminded about Shukadev Goswami, that Shukadev is the son of Vedavyas, and Vyas wanted him to finish his education and sent him to Raj Rishi Janaka to learn from him, Janak Raj. And Janak Raj he's the king. Raj Rishi means a saintly king. But he knows very well the science of spiritual life. So Vyasadeva sent Shukadev to him to finish his education. So when he arrived, Guru Maharaj said, I'm remembering this. When he arrived at the city gates and told, I've come to study under Raj Rishi Janak, then the message was sent. They told him, wait here, the guards at the gate, wait here. And when Janak Raj was informed, Shukadev's at the gate, then they told him, tell him to wait, and when I say, you can let him pass. He had to wait at that gate for 7 days before he was allowed to pass. And then when he went through that gate, a little further in, there was another gate. And he was made to wait another 7 days there. From between the outer gate and the palace of Janak Raj, 7 gates. And he was made to wait 7 days at each gate, so 49 days in all. He had to wait before he even met Janak Raj. And Guru Maharaj said, I'm thinking this, and I'm thinking, they spoke a little harshly to me, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to go there again, Then he said, then my mind changed, and I thought, if there's anything genuine here, and I think that there is, then even if they beat me with their shoes, I'm going to stay. And if what they're giving here is bogus, then even if they put me on a throne and do worship, do arti to me, I won't stay for a moment. So then Guru Maharaj made this resolve. And he said, he told us the first time he saw Saraswati Thakur, this is his first time, his first visit to the Bhagavazar Gaudiya Math. He came after work in the evening. There's no one there. Just one man on the gate. And he said, and he was asleep. He said, anyway, I woke him up. We had some conversation. I asked, where is everyone? He said, they've all gone for Nagar Sankirtan. So they were all on the streets of Calcutta doing Harinam Sankirtan. He said, they'll be back half an hour, like something like that. You can wait with me here. Guru Maharaj waited. And he said, then, gradually you could hear the sound of the mridanga and the kartals come closer. And he said, there Saraswati Thakur was at the head of the Sankirtan party. He said, noble figure, tall and thin. And he was at the front, and the party came, and he was carrying his danda and the staff of the sannyasi. And Guru Maharaj said, when I saw him, my feeling was, this is somebody who doesn't care anything for this material world. He's like fully situated in another dimension. And then he said, gradually he came. And at this point in the conversation, when Guru Maharaj is telling about his life, this point in the conversation, somebody said, and what was his kirtan? Like, how was his kirtan? Like, did he lead the kirtan? And Guru Maharaj said, what, Prabhupada? He said, impossible. He said, we never ever saw him sing, ever, never. And Guru Maharaj said, and I've written in a poem about him that he's the personification of Hari Kirtan. He said, but we never ever saw him sing, ever, not once. So, not just the outward perception of things. Anyway, that was Guru Maharaj's first vision, you can say, of Saraswati Thakur. And then he said, then after I'd been barred from going up the stairs, then every day when I would come, if there was he wasn't giving a lecture or something, I'd wait in the waiting area. And he said, and one day, Saraswati Thakur outside his room upstairs, then he saw me, that I'm coming there. Then he said to his attendant, go and ask him if he has something he wants to say. So that, Guru Maharaj is asking, do you have something you want to say to him? And Guru Maharaj said, no, I have nothing to say. Okay. He says he doesn't have anything he wants to say. Oh, go and ask him if he has a question for me. Guru Maharaj wants to know, you have a question? No, I don't have any question. Says he doesn't have any question for you. He said, then ask him, does he have any purpose for coming here then? And so then Guru Maharaj wants to know, do you have some purpose for coming here? Guru Maharaj said, of course, without purpose we wouldn't do anything, isn't it? Then that man says, so what's your purpose for coming here? And he said, to get the grace of you all. So then he went up and he said, he says his purpose for coming is to get the grace of us all here. Then Saraswati Thakur said, ask him to come and speak with me. So Guru Maharaj was invited upstairs and they had their first conversation, and he asked where Guru Maharaj is from. Oh, you're very fortunate, you were born in Goramandala and you're from a very high family, high Brahmin family, and so many things. And Guru Maharaj said, I was brought up in a smarta Brahmin family. So Hapanya is in Navadvip, Goramandala, where Guru Maharaj was born. It means sweet water, Hapanya. And it's famous because the coconuts that grow there, they have very sweet coconut water. So it's called hapaniya. And in up until the partition of India in 1934, before then, there's only Brahmins lived there. And although it was in Bengal, everybody spoke Sanskrit to one another. They were all great, scholars, teachers like that. So, but Guru Maharaj's father, he didn't like Lord Chaitanya. Like many smartas, they considered Lord Chaitanya ruined the social system in India because he didn't accept untouchability. So all the Vaishnavas, they would take prasadam together. The smartas hated that. Remember, this was the tradition before, that even when rich people from India would send their sons to study in Oxford, they had to come with their own Brahmin cook. They couldn't eat what the other people were eating there. They had to eat their own, from their Brahmin cook would come with them to Oxford University to cook for them. And Brahmins wouldn't mix with the other castes. They didn't take their food together. But Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Dev, he considered, devotee of Krishna, he doesn't have any caste or any, then we all take prasadam together. And so the smarters, they hated him just for that. What to speak of, what he was actually preaching. So he said, my father was disliked Mahaprabhu. He said, but my mother, she liked Mahaprabhu very much. So I heard something from her. And he said, when I was very small, maybe before I was even 2 years old, I was on my father's shoulders and there was a Sankirtan party and I made him take me there to see the Sankirtan party. Anyway, so this way he said, so I had connection with Chaitanya Dev's party, but he was brought up in a very strict Brahmin family. So he would say, even now I feel like I'm in the vanguard of the rebels, joining Saraswati Thakur's movement. And he said, this was the final objection that I had, was that I'm from a high Bhattacharya line, and Saraswati Thakur, he's a Kayasta. So Kayasta is considered like a kind of Shudra, but it's from they're landlords, they're owners of land generally, the Kayastas. So he's thinking, then as a Brahmin, I should take my guru should be a Brahmin, not a Kayasta. He said, so this was like my final block to accepting Saraswati Thakur. He said, but then I could understand from his teaching that a Vaishnava is higher than a Brahmin. And so then I came forward and asked him for initiation. And as I mentioned before, when he took initiation, Saraswati Thakur said, quoting from Gita, whatever a great man does, lesser men will follow that. So this was their relationship. But before he became initiated, then he got, this I also should mention this, that his he wants to join the mission, and but he's thinking, but how can I do that? He didn't have any children, but he thought, my brothers and my sister, they'll be okay. But what about my wife? What will happen to her if I just up and join the temple? So what about her? And then he said, then it came in my mind, if she were to die, then I'd be free. He said that, and then I checked myself. What am I thinking? So he said, but when I came home that evening, all of my brothers, and they all came with the white face, and they said, your wife has been taken terribly ill. And he said, and in 3 days she died of consumption. So then he thought, okay, now I'm kind of free to do. He said, but my mother wanted me to marry again. He said, but I couldn't. Then he said, then my mother went to Haridwar for the Kumbh Mela that year. And while she was at the Kumbh Mela, a message came from my brothers that she'd also been taken ill and may pass away. She was old then, may pass away. So then the call came from my mother, please attend to me at the Kumbh Mela. And he said, and at the same time, I received an invitation from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur personally inviting me to the Gaurapanima festival. So then I'm like, what am I going to, in Mayapur, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to the Gaurapanima festival? Or am I going to go and see my dying mother, maybe for the last time? He said, like I was on there, I couldn't decide what am I going to do. It was like very difficult. And he said, but then I thought, this is where I want the direction of my life to go, where I want to give my head and heart there. He said, so then ignoring my mother's call, I went to the Gaurapanima festival. And he said, and I remember there was a very happy atmosphere there. Like so many, in one place, old Tirtha Maharaj, he was giving a lecture there, and another place, someone was collecting funds, and another place there was some exhibition, and another place some kirtan going on, and like many things there. And he said, and so very nice festival. And then at the end, when the festival was over, he said, Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, he was sitting in a wicker chair, and everyone coming to like give their obeisances to him, and then going on their way. So he said, then I observed, Guru Maharaj said, I observed that whoever makes their dandavat to him, he also gets up from his chair and makes dandavat to them. He said, then when it was my turn to give my obeisance to him, he said, I just did pranam like this and went. And they said, then one of the devotees stopped me and said, why didn't you give proper dandavat pranam to, lying down like everybody else has been doing? He said, because then he would have had to get up and do that to me, and I didn't want to trouble him to do that. And that devotee said, oh, if that's the cause, that's very good. So, but as he's going, Saraswati Thakur was saying, oh, you people, don't cheat me. Don't cheat me. And Guru Maharaj said, I'm thinking, what does he mean, don't cheat me? That he invited us for this festival, we attended the festival, and now we're going home. Where's the question of anyone cheating? Then he said, but I want to hear if he's going to say any more on that. So he said, so I just found a little place and I sat down within hearing distance. And then he did say more. He said, you've all come here and promising to serve Krishna. And because of that, I've entered in some relationship with you. And now you're all saying, oh, we're going home now. So you promised to serve Krishna and now you're going back to your old life. So don't cheat me. And then he said, and if you say, I have some things I have to take care of. He said, even if you say, my house is on fire, or there's some fires, I have to go and put those fires out. Once I've dealt with the fires, I can come back. Then he said, then I say to you, let them burn. Let the whole world burn. That will be better, because then you won't have to deal with these burnt things. You will only get your satisfaction from serving Krishna. And Guru Maharaj said, that was it then. I was convinced, that I have to join the mission. He said, but I did have to go back for some duty, and that was to do pinda for his mother, to perform the Shraddha ceremony. Because that was her fear. Her fear was that he's going to go and become a sannyasi and he won't do my Shraddha, my funeral rites, which is the duty of the oldest son. Said, so I went and I did that. Then I came back, and I came back with my two brothers and my sister. We all joined at the same time. He said, and then they left and went home crying, but I remained. So this is how Guru Maharaj joined the mission of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And the rest, as they say, is history. So we know at the time of Saraswati Thakur's disappearance, then Guru Maharaj said we were taking it in turns to, he was showing some illness and like on his deathbed. So we were taking in, senior devotees were taking it in turns to attend him. He said, and my shift was from 2 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock. And then at 4 o'clock I would go, I'd join the Mangalarti. After Mangalarti I'd go and take rest. So this day, after I'd left, then this day one of the devotees came running after me. Oh, Guru Maharaj is calling for you. He said, then this had not happened before, so I immediately can understand now he's going to disappear, going to leave the world. So I went there, and then I'm sitting, and Saraswati Thakur says, Sridhar Maharaj, sing Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. I want to hear Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. This song is written by Narottam Das Thakur, is considered the highest expression of our sampradaya, of our lineage. And in our mission, no one sings this song. We don't sing this song. We consider it too high for us. Only we consider it Guru Maharaj's song. And the only other person who ever sang that in our mission, as far as I'm aware, is Srila Govinda Maharaj. So, but Guru Maharaj said, when he asked me, he said, I was not a good singer. He said, I was a good dancer in the kirtan. I could dance very nicely. And it's true, even in his last years, sometimes Guru Maharaj would dance in the kirtan. And it was really beautiful to see. He would, with his finger, and he would dance. It was so beautiful to see. But he said, I was but I'm not a good singer. So he said, then Kunja Babu, who was the secretary, he was a grihasta then, but he was Saraswati Thakur's secretary. So whatever he said, you must obey. Whether you're a sannyasi or whoever you are, you have to obey Tirtha. He became Tirtha Maharaj later, but Kunja Babu, Kunja Bihari was his name. So he said, Guru Maharaj said, seeing my hesitation, he asked another brahmachari, Pranavananda Brahmachari, asked him, you sing. Pranavananda Brahmachari was considered the best kirtan leader in the Gaudiya Math. He was later Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. So he said, you sing. Then he began singing. But after a few lines, Saraswati Thakur said, no, I don't want to hear the sweet sound of the song. I want to hear Sridhar Maharaj sing. So then Guru Maharaj said, I sang that song. And later, Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, he wrote a letter to Guru Maharaj. And he said at that time, we saw a mystical transmission where Saraswati Thakur gave charge of the Rupanuga Sampradaya to you. And he said, and all of us that witness that, we consider you as Rupanuga Dara. Dara means the current. The current of Rupa Goswami's Sampradaya is flowing through you. And then shortly afterwards, Saraswati Thakur disappeared from the world. So this is the history of our Sampradaya. And it is a very fine conception of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Particularly in his English books. When I say English books, I don't mean translations from his Bengali or Sanskrit writings, but what he spoke in English. Srila Guru Maharaj said once to us, I was born to preach in the English language. And really it's true. He was, always looking for the perfect word to express something in English. And Srila Govinda Maharaj, he also told me, many times I heard this particular point from Guru Maharaj, but I couldn't understand it. But when I read it in Golden Volcano of Divine Love, where Guru Maharaj had expressed it in English, then I could understand. And really, we find that those books of Srila Guru Maharaj from his talks, starting with Search for Sri Krishna, Reality the Beautiful, who Srila Govinda Maharaj said, these are my 5 deities. Search for Sri Krishna, Reality the Beautiful, Sri Guru and his grace, the golden volcano of divine love, the Lord's loving search for his lost servant, and subjective evolution of consciousness, the play of the sweet absolute. So these are my 5 deities. So, and we consider that they're the seminal works of the foundation of our mission, these books. And not only that, but Guru Maharaj's Sanskrit compositions also. His commentary on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which was first published in Bengali and translated into English as The Hidden Treasure of the Sweet Absolute. There are some unique perspectives on Bhagavad Gita you'll find, that you won't find anywhere else. Guru Maharaj's own composition, Prapanna Jivanamritam. Guru Maharaj said, when I left the company of my godbrothers and my Guru Maharaj's mission to live alone, then I had to consider what is that one essential thing in the life of a devotee that they cannot live without. And my conclusion was Sharanagati, surrender to the Lord. And so I researched many books. There's Ramanujacharya's Prapanamritam. There's Sharanagati by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and many other books, the writings of Jamunacharya and others. And Guru Maharaj compiled these in a book called Prapanna Jivanamritam, the life nectar of the surrendered souls. And Srila Govinda Maharaj said, this is a divine scripture manifesting herself through the pen of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. It was first published by Bhavani Devi, that is Srila Prabhupada's sister. She first paid for the first publication of this book, and Prabhupada used to carry that book with him everywhere. And many of Guru Maharaj's wrote a full commentary on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Is one of those books that's we've never seen in English yet. This is my hope that one day that some qualified person will be able to render that for us. And of course, Prema Dharma Deva Stotram. In 72 verses, the whole of the life and teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a song, in the form of a song. It is Lord Chaitanya in the form of a song. Prema Dharma Deva Stotram. And so many other. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj's explanation of the Brahma Gayatri mantra, never before revealed in the world, this explanation. Drawing the Brahma Gayatri, the explanation of that, not just to be the same as the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam, but to show from that the whole purport of Srimad Bhagavatam is the glorification and worship of Srimati Radharani. And this is expressed in Brahma Gayatri mantra. And only Guru Maharaj could draw that explanation from there. And it's perfect. His explanation is perfect. It's revelation. Guru Maharaj said, when I was a young man, back in school, he said, I read somewhere that if you do the japa of the Gayatri mantra, like I think 3,000 times, that some revelation will come to you. And he said, so me and my friend, we used to practice this every day in my childhood. He said, now in my last years of my life, maybe that's coming to fruition. He said, and I thought, I'd heard that Jiva Goswami had given a similar explanation somewhere, but I looked, but I couldn't find it. But what Guru Maharaj has given, it is revelation in our sampradaya, something never given before. And it must be so. The meaning of Gayatri Mantra must be in the line of Srimad Bhagavatam. Not like I read on some other mission's website, meditation on the sun god. What is that? After coming to the conception of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord Krishna as being Swayam Bhagavan, now we're going to sit down and meditate on Surya, on the sun god? No. Anyway, Guru Maharaj deals with all that in his commentary. It is perfect. So there is no other Vaishnava in our modern day that comes to that standard of adhikar, of spiritual perfection as Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And I'm not only saying that as because I'm his disciple. It is a self-evident truth. So Monday is his disappearance day, and so I wanted to say something in his glorification today, as I won't be here then. But you can all, if possible, come and give your worship and asking for his grace on that day, and every day, of course. But wanted to say something. So as always, I've gone over my time. Please forgive me for that. So Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswata Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Samadvaita Vaishnava Mandali Ki Jai. Sri Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.
Would you sing it today?
No, one of you two can sing today, if you'll be so kind.
And there's pure explanation, always. It's so funny. Magic. You ask for knowledge, and the knowledge comes. So we spoke about so much, and then the story comes. 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. Oh my God! It's amazing. Actually, station in Peru. What do you stay for? What do you go for? Wow.
Oh.